All right. All right. I didn't think I would be streaming late afternoon, but I'm testing what I got done for the level 2 indicator. Do, do, do. I am really Logitech Pro. There we go. There we go. Do, do, do. All right. So the order book pressure indicator. It's basically this right here. That right there gives you the actual current. Bid ask plus the percentage. Is it more more pressure to the upside or downside? And that gives you the pressure of it. Like this was 11.9, basically 12% pressure to the downside. Now, this right here will give you 32% bids of pressure to the upside, and we closed green on the candle. We closed positive. That gives you that shaded whole area of green. That is what that does. Right now I'm looking at a 32 range bar. Here, let's take a look at the actual heat map. Let's go ahead and subscribe. Here, let me, I gotta change those colors. Oh, I'm doing it differently. All you gotta do is click on the color. You don't have to click on color. I don't know why I did that, but it is what it is. So there we go. So basically what the settings are, it's actually pretty easy. Like this red right here. This right here was 14% offers. They were 14% sitting on the offer. A snapshot of when the candle closed. Not when it opened, but when it closed. When it closes, it takes a snapshot of like 250 milliseconds snapshot, and then it prints like negative 14%. But then this candle right here closed green, and we had 20% sitting on the bid. 20% of the order book pressure was sitting on the bids. 20%. and then we moved up. Now, if it was 20% on this candle and we had a nice little shaded area, that would have been a really good trigger to go up. So I'm just kind of looking at this and seeing how I want to do this. Actually, no. Hmm. All right, let's tick merge this. So if I tick merge it to 4, see tick merge this to 12, thinking those numbers should be the same roughly. Hmm. So 63.70, so it's roughly the same. Okay. All right, it's roughly the same. All right, so let's go over here. Let's go over the new order book pressure. So the order book pressure, you need level 2 data for this. Okay, so the order book pressure indicator. Uh, let's bring up just NQU6 on a 1 minute. Okay, and let's just go to the indicators. Let's go to order book pressure. Now, order book pressure, what this is levels above 5. So it's looking 5 ticks above or 5 ticks below. I have both of these. This is a 10-second chart because I'm testing it, and this is a 32 range bar and I'm testing it. So let's go 12, 12. So it's taken 12 ticks, basically 3 points to the upside and to the downside. Levels above, levels below. These levels above are, I need to rename this, instead of levels above, it just needs to be bids, and levels below need to be, or no, these are the bids, these are the asks, above are the asks. Measures resting level 2 bid versus ask liquidity to identify the path of least resistance. So the bullish threshold is 25%. I need to reduce that to 10 because 25 is way too much. I'm not seeing a lot of uh, shaded areas when I do that. Persistence in milliseconds. So it's 250 milliseconds in the tick size. So what this is basically doing is it's calculating. It's taken 65. Here, let me get rid of this. Okay. Um, It's basically positive 6%, positive 1, like -4. It gives the bid and the asks of what's on the order book on the level 2. And that's all that is doing. So it's taking 12 above and 12 below for the levels as far as the bid and the asks. If you look at a heat map, that's what that is doing. And the bullish threshold is 10%. So basically what this is this right here. Okay, this right here, we have negative 10%. Well, there was there was 10% more asks sellers. There was 10% more sellers on the books. When this candle, this 10% candle closed, it took a snapshot of the data, and it was 10% more sellers than buyers, okay? And it closed down. So it shaded that area right here. That shaded area shaded it red. Basically what that's saying is there's pressure to the downside is what that is saying. That's all that's doing. Alrighty, let's see what we can get done. We got 22% to the upside. So let's see what we can get done. This is not good because it's still sloping downwards. So this is sloping downwards. This is sloping downwards. I've got a new indicator that I'm testing. And basically what this has said was, if you look, there's pressure. Try and pay attention to this trade, but this right here, order book pressure. I showed you earlier how I have it set up. So it's reading 12 levels, 12 bids and 12 asks. Well, right now it says there is 22% on this 32 range bar. There is 22% more buyers than sellers sitting on the books. Okay. There was 22 more buyers than sellers sitting on the books. Okay. And when the threshold is above 10%, because I have the setting for 10%. So when the threshold is 10%, here, let me see if I can't order book. Here, it's right here. So I've got it set to 12, 12, 10%, and I've got it set to 10%. Okay, so that's 10%, 10%. So levels above 12. So it's reading the level 2, 12 levels up, 12 ticks up, and it's summing up all the sellers. And then below 12 ticks, it's going 12 ticks down and summing up all the bids, all the buyers. Okay. Now the bullish threshold and bearish threshold is 10 and 10. Okay. You want to keep these the same, 12, 12, 10, 10. Okay. So right here, we had 22% more buyers on the level 2 when this 32 range bar closed. Okay. So, and it needed to close above. Okay. So there was 22% more buying pressure on the books on the level 2 when this 32 range bar closed. So when this bar opened up, there was 22% more buyers and sellers. So, and that's why we just kind of ran up very slightly. Now, I just went on ahead and got in that trade now, and then I just got out. Now, this right here says there's this is a 10-second chart. Okay, there's a 10-second chart. I'm just testing this. There's a 14% on this 10-second chart. There was 14% right there. The 14% more buyers on the books on the level 2 when this 10% candle closed. So when we opened up here, there was 14% more buyers on the level 2. So there was buying pressure to the upside. Okay. So, and that is what this number is. This is real time right here. And it will fluctuate because, well, they're yanking the books and they're yanking orders back and forth, okay, and things are being filled. So there was 23% more buyers on the level 2 right when this candle closed right here, and it was above 10% and it closed positive. That's why it gave you that green shade. Now this, the red shade, 10% more sellers on the books when this candle closed. And of course, we closed like a doji, but we closed red, and that shaded it red. There's more to be done for this indicator, but it's giving you buying pressure on the books at a snapshot within like 250 milliseconds. It has to be 250 milliseconds. So this buying pressure, this 22%, basically, and that can be adjusted right here. Okay, that can be adjusted right here. Tick size, persistence in milliseconds. If you don't want to do a quarter of a second, let's say you want to do a tenth of a second, you can do 100 milliseconds. So within 100 milliseconds, as long as it stays above the threshold, then it's going to give you that signal. So this right here, 10%, 10.5% more buyers than sellers on the level 2 when this candle closed, and we closed to green. So it gave you that shaded background and we move upwards. This is a nice one, 10%. We closed pretty strong. You see the value error high and low, and we should be going up. So this just gives you a really nice direction and also gives you an idea of what is on the books. Okay, what's on the books? Well, right here, there were 7% more sellers. There was 14% more sellers on the books, but we closed above. We really didn't close down that much. This right here is telling me for this 10-second candles right here, there was 3% more buyers, 12% more buyers, 16% more buyers, 3.5% more buyers. Now this is telling me there's 22% more sellers on the level 2, on the books on the level 2. Okay, so this is, I don't know how useful this is going to be for people, but this is something I've been wanting to do to get order book pressure of buying and selling. And I didn't want to do just like, oh, I'll just throw together like a gauge and you can just look at another gauge. No, I actually want to write logic and actually see what the heck is going on. Okay, and then tell me what candles actually have the buying pressure. Now, on this 32 range bar, you saw the 22% more buying than selling, and we closed green, and the value area high and low, which is right there, we closed above that, plus we were 22% more buyers on the books on the level 2 when this candle 32 range bar closed, and as you can see, we were moving upwards. So if you actually took that trade, and you'd be up here about $400. So this is, I'm hoping that this is going to give us a good idea of what's on the books on the level 2. Now you're going to have level 2 data. Okay. My connection right now is Apex. So I'm using Apex level 2 data. Okay. So far for the day P&L, I've closed out $306 for the day for the P&L. Made back some money that I lost yesterday because I closed a small red day yesterday, but then I'm up 300. But the market has just been, and it's August, folks. It's August. Don't expect a whole lot from the market, to be quite honest. Okay, don't expect a whole lot from the market. It's August. Next month, I'm expecting it to be better. People will be back from vacation. All the kids are back in school. Everything's ready to go. People are back to their same old BS. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting next month. Now, Monday, two big things are happening Monday. One, nanos are being released from the CME group. I remember when micros were released years and years ago, like 10 years ago. I can't remember. I think 8 years ago. Micros was released. Now they're releasing nanos. Am I going to trade them? Yeah, on a personal account. Yeah, I'll trade the nanos. It don't bother me. So there's some more work that needs to be done for this order book pressure. But as you can see, when I moved the chart around, it kind of removed it. So I need to fix that. I'll work on that tonight to keep it persistent throughout the chart. I don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out. But I just wanted to get this tested really quick today and actually show people on stream what it looks like. And the order book pressure indicator. Maybe I should call it the L2 pressure, or I'll just call it order book pressure. It just gives you the pressure of the order book. Now you got to have level 2. So if you take the heat map here, and let's say you type in NQU6 and actually to subscribe to the data. So basically it's taken, I have it set for 12 levels. So it's 12 levels up, and it's summing up all the red right here are the offers. That's the ask, and the blue are the bid. That's the people that are buying. So it's going 12 levels up and 12 levels down, and it's summing up all the bids, and then summing up all the asks, and then it's getting the percentage. Hey, the threshold is 10%, okay, for a box area to show. No box areas are shown, but hopefully there will be. But that's what it's doing, okay? So this is, if you want to show the level 2, you can just use the heat map if you want. But this is what it's doing. Like this candle here, this 10% more buyers than sellers, but we closed red. So it did not give us a shaded area of green because we closed down. I'm pretty sure we'll get one that closes up. And I am going to use this in a way. I'm going to be using it for, obviously, for stacked imbalances. How I mainly trade stacked imbalances. Like right there was 3% more buyers and sellers. As you can see here on the books, we've got all of these buyers right here. Okay, when each bar right here is 10-second bar. Each bar is a 10-second bar. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So we have 11% more sellers than buyers on the books at about 250 milliseconds. When this 10-second bar closed, it took a snapshot, and there was 11% more sellers than buyers, and it shaded the candle area red. Okay. Now you wouldn't take that as a short because obviously the moving average is kind of flatline. Okay. If you want the moving average, there's a strategy that I'm working on. It's not a stacked and balanced strategy. It is a momentum strategy because I'm a momentum trader. I don't like uh, trying to catch a falling knife. You know, every now and then you'll get a nice little bounce and you'll pass a eval. You know, but even a blind squirrel can find a walnut tree every now and then and get a nut. Uh, but basically, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, you got 13% negative sellers, 13% more sellers than buyers. You had the value area high, value area low. You looks like you had a value area high, value area low right there. It needed to close below that, but that's another thing that I have added here pretty easily. I've added show volume bars. So when you go to show volume bars and then you click this, oh, that's not an order flow chart. That's just a regular, this needs to be an order flow chart. But right here, candles, volume. So it's showing the volume. The the white dotted lines are the value area high and value area low. Like this candle, value area high, value area low. So this whole area right here was the value area, if you understand profile. And we closed above that. That was actually pretty bullish. Now down below here, if we had like at least a 10%, at least a 10% more buyers than sellers, then that whole candle area would be shaded green and you would be looking to take a buy. Why? Because this value area high and low was right here, and then this value area high and low was above the previous one, and this is moving upwards. You've got the delta moving upwards, so it's just an upward momentum. That's how I'm looking at this. Now, some of you are going to take this and run with it and actually come up with some pretty good strategies, and hopefully you'll tell us. If not, just keep it to yourself and bank it. Uh, do you find the heat map valuable? Yes, heat maps are valuable. Yes, they are. Uh, I'm just traded off of a DOM for so many years that I just don't use the heat map that much. I find it valuable because what I can do with it, uh, I find it valuable because what I like to do is I like to tick merge the data, okay? And then I'll do the resting orders like 25 to see how many. All right, let's go 30 resting orders. And each histogram is 1 point, so it goes to 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, so each histogram is 1 point. Each bar, like this whole bar right here, is 1 point worth of data because I just tick merged it. So I like I like it because it actually tells you where the areas are as like support and resistance areas. Like right down here, you got like 400 sitting on the bid right here. Okay. So yes, it is extremely valuable. Okay. It's extremely valuable. I normally don't use it because I've been trading for 10 years, the futures. I've been trading futures for 10 years. So I just kind of don't use a heat map. Now I have built this. This is a very basic one. There's going to be a lot more to come. I mean, when Bookmap first came out, I was like, oh my word, was that funny looking thing? People are going to go crazy over it. And actually, it's actually pretty useful. It's just a different way of viewing the data. Okay, that's all that is. I'm so used to looking at a DOM with like jigsaw trading. I'm so used to looking at a DOM that I just never use a heat map. I mean, if you go to jigsaw trading right here, if you go to jigsaw trading, they are fantastic. Okay, this is the DOM I used to use all the time. They don't have it showing. Now their courses are not cheap, okay? Um, but as a software engineer, I just kind of used it anyways because, well, I was making six figures, so it didn't really matter about blowing $1,000. I mean, I used their DOM. Okay, I am planning on building a DOM, a depth of market trading that is second to none. Okay. Uh, that's what I am planning to do. Now, this right here, this is actually pretty good. We've got 13% more buyers than sellers. We're actually sloping upwards. Okay. We closed green. The value area was higher than the previous one. So maybe you could get in here and then look for something to run upwards. Okay. Obviously, we didn't make it. Okay. Obviously, we didn't make it. You got stopped out. But, you know, not every trade's going to win, that's for sure. And also, this is not meant to just be like, oh, I'm going to trade a 10-second chart or I'm going to trade a 32 range bar and take this. No, you have to look at the context of the market. The context of the market, I mean, look what we're doing. We've been consolidating all freaking day. Okay. We've just been in a nice little, tight little range area. Okay. Just going up and down, up and down. Okay. Yes, it's slightly going down, but you know, it's August. It's to be expected, to be honest. I know when I'm streaming, I get ticked off because, well, I blame Trump and Iran for that, to be honest, man, because for 3 or 4 months, it's been freaking nuts, man. Uh, so I kind of blame them for it. Now that the market's gone back to normal, I'm like, yo, what the heck happened to the market? Somebody killed the market. No, it's gone back to normal. That's what it has done. It's gone back to normal market conditions. As you can see here, this one seems like it's panning out. You got 10% more buyers than sellers on the books. When this closed green, you had 10.4% more buyers than sellers on the level 2 on the books. Have you done a video on using the DOM or heat map? No, not yet. I'm too busy writing code. I don't have time to do educational videos. But I will hopefully soon. And then we have more up here, 18%. So maybe you got in here and put your stop down here. Well, you know, we kind of popped up a little bit, but then we just kind of got smacked down a little bit, you know? It, I mean, look where we're at. Okay. That's just the way it is. Uh, but some people are going to be able to take this and kind of run with it. And you're going to be able to, I wonder, so when I do the settings, see right now, levels above 12 and 12, bullish threshold, like some people might only care about four, just 1 point level, or some might want 4 points and do 16. Some people might do 8 ticks above, like 2 points. Some people might do 5%, 10%, 15, 20%. Okay. It all depends on what you want to do. Okay. You see how that deleted that? It cleared everything out. I got to fix that. But right now, I don't care about that. Right now, I just care about it working. It took me a while, a little bit of frustration to get this thing working. Uh, and then I finally figured it out. The problem, I couldn't get this thing working. I couldn't get it to print the percentages on the candles. And it was something that I was doing stupid. So, you know, oh well. Uh, let's see. Um, we're moving upwards. We got 10% more buyers than sellers. You see that value area high right there? I'm going to put that. Actually, I'm going to put it at the bottom of this. That value area low right there. I'm just going to go ahead and trail this up. But you see how we had 10.6%? I'm going to get tapped. Yep. Okay. Why did I get in? Well, right here we had a value area high and low. We had a value area high and low. We were sloping upwards on the moving average. Well, look at this. It's running up. The CVD, cumulative volume delta, is running up, so there's pressure to the upside, okay? And we closed right here. So then I was like, okay, I'll just get in here. Then I saw this right here. I was like, okay. So then I put my stop right down there and I just got tapped. Okay, no big deal. Who cares? I mean, look at the 5 minute right here or the 15 minute. We're just been sitting there consolidating. So who cares, you know? I mean, how much could you have gotten? Probably around 40 ticks, maybe, you know, you might have gotten yourself maybe 150, $200. Move on. Who cares? Get your base hits. Every now and then, sometimes, every now and then, you'll get into something like this and it'll come right up here and you make yourself an $800 trade. It happens. You'll get a home run. It happens. Don't be looking for them. Okay? Don't be looking for them. Don't be like these prop farming gambling degenerates on YouTube, all these gurus, you know, they're loading up 10 accounts, blowing like 8 of them, passing 2 of them and showing you the good ones that they pass at the end of the day. Don't listen to that horse shit, okay? So also getting base hits, you know what that does to your psychological trading mentality? Let's say you do 10 trades, 6 of them are winners, 4 of them are losers. Uh, who cares? As long as you're making money, man, who cares? You know, if you're blowing up eight accounts and only passing 2, and then those 2 funded, and you keep doing the same thing, and you blow those 2 funded, then you start and back down to 0. It kind of screws with your psychology, to be honest. Uh, and most people ain't got the money to prop farm, to be honest. It takes a decent amount of money to do it. And plus, I think a lot of these prop firms are actually cracking down on it. They're not allowing it. They're cracking down on it. Okay. Uh, where is where in the heck is the browser? That's what I want to know. Hmm. What just happened? Okay. Yeah. So we got that pressure up to the upside. What happened here? Did I close it out? I don't know what I did. End broadcast. No, we're still live. I don't know what I did. Brain fart, I guess. Do. No, let's come back here. Guess I had a brain fart. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, the level, the heat map is good. Like right here, you got 44 sitting on the bid right there at 276. You know, you can use that little floor right there. You can use that as support if you want. Um, Yeah, let's see what we got going on here. As you can see on the 15-minute, we're just sitting there consolidating. It is definitely bullish. It's towards the bottom of it. I mean, if you really look at it, it's towards the bottom right here, and then we got a nice little top up here. But yeah, we might actually run back up. Who knows? The market does what the market wants to do. The market does what the market wants to do. Like right now, CVD is going down. But look at the books. The CVD, cumulative volume delta, is going down. But if you look at all this, that's green. That's green. All of this is, well, that 0%. All of this is green. 14%, 17, 6, 10%. Those are all that were on the level 2 on the order book. All of that was order book pressure when that 32 range bar closed. So there's still a little bit of pressure. They're still looking to push this thing up. Okay. So they were still looking to push this thing up. And look what's happening. We're back up here in the center. So this can kind of give you a gauge. This order book pressure indicator is going to give you a good idea. Some of you are going to come up with some good ideas to use this. Do, 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 do. Now I'm not running. Uh, I'm not running. As you can see here, I'm just running this right here. I'm just running. Uh, I'm not running the build. I'm running the actual source code. So I'm gonna do a build for this a little bit later tonight. I'm gonna build this out, and then actually I'm gonna run this tomorrow. I need to get it so where these values stay when you start editing stuff. I just have to throw it in memory. I gotta be careful about all this crap that I throw in memory, man. If we go to NZ, I mean, this is my stats. So I mean, obviously I got a good system. AMD Ryzen 9, GeForce RTX 3080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM. You know, I mean, I'm not worried about it, but not everybody's going to have a decent, a fast system to be able to do this. So I got to be careful about how much crap I throw in the, how much I throw in memory. NZT scan. How much am I using for PC monitoring? Yeah, the RAM. I'm using like 22% of my RAM. So the system runs good. I mean, uh, I got a liquid cooled system. It's not NZXT. It's a Alienware. I got really good. Uh, so, but yeah, I had to do this because man, I was running parallels on my MacBook Pro, where I do a lot of my development. I was running parallels, and oh my word, it was not good. Also, there's another issue I need to look up. Uh, happened the first 5 minutes today. The charts froze up. I don't know if it was CME getting clogged with all the orders or if it was my system that was clogged. I think it's my system. So I got to look into that and find out. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's annoying. I got to find out why that is. It's got to be a threading issue in the code. But yeah, this is how the order book pressure indicator is going to work. You'll be able to change the settings if you want. That's not a problem. Like right now, we had 0, 0, 0. I mean, it was like for the past 10 seconds, it's been negative, 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 negative on the books, negative on the books. And then obviously, look what we're doing. We got 13, this candle right there. Okay, that candle right there. 13% negative. The value area high and low is right here. The value area high and low for this one is right here. We closed below it. We got 13% negative. So the pressure is to the downside. So if you actually did get in here, somewhere up in here, then you're obviously like 50 bucks in the money. I mean, just give it time. This is the 10-second chart that you're looking at, so you got to be aware of that too. That's a 10-second chart that you're looking at. But that's right here at 13%, and we closed below, so that met the threshold. So if we came in here and came up here like $40, maybe you saw all this consolidation, you just go to a break even like I do. I will quickly go to a break even. I don't this NQ is a squirrely little freak. So, but still, look at all this. All the pressure right there, all this pressure of the level 2 data is all negative. On the level 2, on the order book, there's more sellers than there are buyers on the book for the past 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, for the past minute and a half. The pressure has been to the down, little turd, a little pressure has been to the downside. So this is something to give you an idea. Okay. This is something that will give you a good idea. Now we had some buyers come in here on the level 2. When this 10-second candle closed, we were 12% and we closed above. But granted, all right, there we go, 11%. We closed red. Value area previous was here, and then right here was the value area. So maybe you get in this area and you're looking for a push down like you're getting, okay? And then maybe you can scalp yourself 50, 100 bucks. I don't know. On a 10-second chart, think about this. On a 10-second chart, if you can scalp yourself 100 bucks, you could possibly pretty easily do $500 in a day, man. I mean, come on. I mean, even if you scalped that and you got out right here, that's like 75 bucks. Like, who cares, man? 2, 3 contracts, you're doing good, man. If you're scalping, micro scalping in a low time frame like this, you got to go in like 3 to 5 contracts. You know, that's what you just got to do, man. If we look right here, you've got -3%, -10%. We closed down. Value area here. The value area was here. We got this one -16%, but we closed above. So maybe if you break this area right here, we might get going. I don't know, because if you look at the 5-minute, I mean, look at the 5-minute, we're down here at the bottom. So obviously, I'm like, no. And another thing is 320. You shouldn't be trading. This is going to be interesting how this is going to work for the stacked imbalances, because what I'm looking for, this is how I would like to trade it. Okay, you got a 32 range bar, you got 10%, more buyers than sellers on the level 2 when this candle closed. And let's say you get a buy imbalance right here, okay? Then obviously you want to get in here and then look for move to the upside because the moving average is sloping upwards, the CVD is sloping upwards, so everything is looking to the upside. That's how I'm going to use this. You see how there was 10% more sellers, there's 16% more sellers, and the pressure is to the downside. We got the moving average sloping downwards. I mean, the only thing going for it is that the 15-minute right here is looking to go up. Okay, but it's just having a little bit of time, a little bit of a hard time. Wow, probably because all these sellers on the books in the past 32 range bars. So hopefully you can take this indicator next week when the beta gets released. Okay, you got 16 you got the moving average that's sloping upwards. Okay, the 15 minutes looking good. You got 16% buyers, 16% more buyers than sellers on the level 2. We closed above. That's why you got that big shaded green area around that whole candle. And you're looking to move to the upside, and you bank yourself 2.25 on a 10-second chart, and you make yourself $200 in a matter of 10, 20, 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you make $200. That's a pretty damn good raise. That's a pretty good raise. Same thing with this. You got 11%. We closed positive on the 32 range bar. Okay. I mean, if you got in here, maybe you get out right here. You get yourself $1.50. That's $150, man. Who cares? You know what I'm talking about? So, but you got to think of the context of the market, where we're at. You got to think of longer term context here. This is for momentum trading. Okay. I'm really going to have to do a video on this indicator. Yeah. I'm really going to have to do a video on this indicator. Also, possibly what I would like to do is maybe draw it out to about, here we go. When you have this right here, draw it out to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. So it's like that. So it gives you a nice shaded area. Like, hey, there was 16% more buyers and sellers in this area. Boom, and we move up. That's how I'm going to possibly develop it. And if we close, like if we take this area out right here, like if this candle would have sold off into here, then obviously it would have cut it off right there. It wouldn't keep going to like a rectangle. That's how I'm gonna work on that later. I'm gonna work on that once I get this to keep the stinking data. All right, so I'm up $317. I've made myself $10, folks. Screwing around. That would have been $100, but yeah. I'm kind of excited about the order book pressure indicator. There's a lot that we could possibly do with this thing. A lot that you can do with the indicator, with your strategies, with the order book pressure. I mean, you can use this right here. You can use this. That's not a problem. But to me, it's just a little bit easier to look at this 32 range bar right here and say there was 11.7% more buyers. We closed above, nice big shaded area. I can look at that and be like, oh, 11%. Well, good job. Go. I can look here and be like, yep, there were some sellers, all these sellers on the books. We had some buyers. You got 30% more sellers right up here. You got 27%. They just cranked it out right there. It's probably all of this right up in here. You see that? Histogram right there? It's probably all of that where it was like negative 27%. Negative 30% right here, negative 30% more sellers than buyers. That's all that shaded histogram area right there, that heat map area. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we can run with this. That's not a problem. There's a lot of things we can run with this. I want to build stuff that other platforms just don't have. I don't want to keep doing the same daggone thing everybody else is doing. I mean, I could and then charge like $20 a month and do the same daggone thing everybody else is doing. I want to do things differently. That DOM that I'm looking to build, when, which probably I will probably start on it next week. The beta release. Make sure you go to epcharts.com and create an account because you'll get notified when the beta gets released Monday. I'm hoping it'll be Monday. I think it will be. Uh, um, I'm like 80% sure it'll be Monday if I can get the website stuff done this weekend. Uh, the platform's ready. Okay, it's just a website. Okay, we got 10% more sellers than buyers on this candle right here, and we closed below. We had value area high and low. We had a value area high and low. So the value area was moving downwards. We closed below this moving average. So if you got in here, obviously you're making money. This is not an A plus setup, but then, you probably book around $60. Hey man, what do you expect on a 10-second chart? Expecting $1,000 trade? It can happen. It's just kind of rare. Uh, But yeah, I mean, crap, man. If you can get in here and book yourself like $50, man, go for it, man. 2, 3 contracts, make yourself $100. You do that a handful of times, you got yourself $500 a day. You keep doing that, you'll be passing evals left and right. You'll be building up them funded accounts instead of blowing them. Look at this. 11%. Look at the delta starting to move up. Delta starting to move up. We closed above. We got a nice little shaded area right there. The value area high and low was right here. Value area high and low was right there. It would have been better if the value area high and low was up here. Then that would have been a really good go sign, man. You make yourself about $300 on a 32 range bar in a matter of just a couple minutes. Not that bad, man. Not that bad. Not that bad. This has given me some ideas of how I want to build a strategy. Holy smokes, that thing took a shit. Uh, Look at the 10-second, man. That thing took a dump, man. Lord have mercy. Anybody on the books? Not really. It looks like it took a dump on a 10-second, man. Ooh, it ripping up. Yeah, see, 10 seconds is nuts, man. 10 seconds. Trading a 10-second chart. Sometimes I trade a 5-second chart and then I have to sleep for 2 weeks. Yeah. That is how I am going to use this thing. We've got a value area high and low. We got a value area high and low. We're above the moving average. We got nice bids on the books on the level 2. You're not looking to get the whole enchilada. You just want a piece of the pie for about maybe $300. Okay. You're looking for the momentum. Think about it. Think about this. If you're getting in here, how much heat did you take? This right here. You basically immediately took about $75 worth of heat and kind of instantly got it over $100. You start locking into a break even, maybe you can get yourself $200. Uh, yes, capital preservation. It's just how it is. Here, hold on, I'll be right back. Right there. All right. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Ready. All right. So, what do people think about this order book pressure indicator? What do you think about the order pressure book indicator, the level 2 pressure indicator? I mean, personally, I'm going to use it, probably. But that's sign up. Sign up for the beta release. It's coming Monday. Um, epcharts.com. Go to epcharts.com, folks. Go to epcharts.com right here. Just go to epcharts.com, create an account. It's going to run on Windows, Mac, and Linux. I just got to do a build for Linux and test it. But it's running good on Windows. It's running good on Mac. I haven't built, I haven't built it yet. It's not that I need to write any code or anything. I just need to compile it for Linux, because the way I'm building this is with C# and .NET. But the thing is that it's a self-contained .NET, kind of like Java, but it's written in Rust, C#. Well, it's written in Rust and C#. Okay. Some of the DLL files. Well, uh, well, we're moving upward right here, and if you were moving upward, you got 30% negative sellers on the books. You got 4%, basically 5% sellers on the books at that time of the snapshot of the data. But you got 20% sellers, 20% more sellers than buyers on the level 2 data when this candle closed, and we closed red. Okay. Now, would you take this trade? Probably not. Why? Well, because the moving average is sloping upwards. That's probably why. Okay. If the moving average was sloping downwards and we were below the moving average and it did that, then yeah, I would actually take the trade. But we're moving upwards, so you don't do stuff like that. You got to put the odds in your favor. Okay. If you have to sit here for 2 or 3 hours, think about this, folks. Think about this. I mean, it's not that difficult, to be quite honest. If you have to sit here, let's say you get to the desk at 9 o'clock. Okay, 9 o'clock, you trade till 12, 3 hours. Let's say you have to sit there for 3 hours, and you do a handful of trades, and you end up with like 20 points. Okay, times $20, that's $400 for the day. Okay, that's $400 for the day. I say you only do that about 4 times. That's 1,600 times 4. That's like $6,000 a month. Okay. Start get don't listen to these gurus. Stop. You know, it's nice to have dreams and everything, but I want to bring people back to reality. Do your base hits and build an account, whether it's an eval or a funded account. Get consistent, build a strategy, trade that strategy consistently with discipline, and you'll be okay. If you follow me, well, sometimes, well, I wouldn't be following me too much right now because uh, this market is ticking me off for some reason. Um, it's just because it's August. Uh, before I wish I was streaming when before Trump and Iran start smacking each other in the face. I wish I started streaming before then. Those were good days, man. I would be making like I mean, $500 day was kind of like a average day easily. I mean, I was doing like $1,000, $2,000 days, man. Uh, I was trading bull knocks. I loaded up like on, I don't know, something like 10, 15 evals. Got a bunch of funded accounts. I mean, it was fun. And then all of a sudden, Trump and Iran wanted to shoot missiles at each other, and it all went to hell. Uh, but hey, when the trading in the market's hot, you gotta level up, man. You gotta put the pedal to the metal. And when the market's like this and you're not on your game, you gotta let off that gas, man. Because if you don't, you're gonna be sorry. I mean, you saw me this morning. I was up like $500, and then I closed, and now I'm up only 317. Um, you know, you just gotta understand what you're doing. I was trading. What was I trading? I was trading the minis. Then all of a sudden, we were consistently at 40 ATR on a 1 minute, so I just dropped down to uh, a couple micros. I mean, that's just what you have to do, man. So we got a buy and balance right here. We got a buy and balance, but the problem with this buy and balance is we got 46%. 46% more sellers than buyers on the books. You see that right there? That's the problem. Is them little turds right there. They won't get out of the way. You see that? You see that little heat map? Them little turds won't get out of the way. Get out of the way, you little turds. Because look at that, man. We're at 46.5%. I don't even need this anymore, man. I just look at this. Uh, I mean, get out of the way, man. But they're not going to. Okay. And also look at this. The value area high and low for the 32 range bar was there. Look at that. That was there. Now, if this value area high and low was here, and instead of this being negative 40%, and it was like 25% positive on the books, yeah, we'd be looking to shoot for the moon. Okay, but the problem is these little turds won't get out of the way. That little 50 on an offer at 335 won't get out of the way. Them little turd faces right there, man. You little turds, you're holding that things up. Um, Now if they move out of the way or they get run over, and the only way they're going to get run over is if this thing starts climbing. Okay, is this number starts climbing the way it is and starts stabilizing and keeps stabilized. Actually, that's looking pretty good because it's sitting there at about positive 20%, flickering back and forth. It's right up in here. And it looks like they could be refreshing the books. Also, the thing is, I got these numbers right here. Well, yeah, those numbers right there. We're at 7% now. But look at this. Those were all negative sellers, man. So the pressure is a little bit to the downside. You know, right there. A little pressure is a little bit to the downside. So to take this buy right here would not have been good. Taking this right here was actually a good. I don't know if we did that or not. I don't know if I took that on while I was streaming, but that was good. I mean, if you got that, you roughly got yourself about 150, 200 bucks. That's pretty good, man. Not bad. You know, not bad. Not bad. So this is the order book pressure indicator. Order book pressure. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Order book pressure. I don't know. Well, we can always rename it. We can come up with some fancy name. I've been working on this for a while. Okay, not just today or last night. I've been working on this indicator for a while. Also, I'm going to be building out strategies, folks. I'm going to be building out strategies. So the platform epcharts.com, make sure that you become a member and help beta test this thing because you're going to get a fantastic deal. Also, another thing is we got auto traders, so we got some strategies. I got strategies that I'm working on. Some of them are good, some of them suck butt. It's just the way it is. Now, the stacked and balanced one is actually pretty good. Which one's pretty good? Stacked scalper, I need to delete that because I'm using stacked and balanced moving average delta. The micro pullback kind of like the 10-second stacked scalper, that's like, and the orb strategy, I don't like that. Overnight high and low is actually halfway decent. But there's a bunch of strategies that I was doing. I got a whole test engine that I wrote. I got a whole test. And where's my stinking uh yeah, right here. Here's a whole test engine I wrote, man. Check this out. Do services. Yeah, test engine. Here's the test engine. Back test engine. I did all kinds of stuff, man. Delta persistent engine, imbalance zone detector, MBO records. That just reads the MBO records. Like pulse moving average cross. And I mean, I've tested a bunch of crap, folks. Tick micro pullback. I've tested a whole bunch of crap. Uh, most of it sucked. Most of it sucked. But hey. Uh, okay, look at this. So we got this going. Let's say we get in here. I don't know. Let's say we get in here. I was kind of late to the party, folks. I was late to the party, but hey, we got 14% negative and we closed below. You got the value area right here. Okay. I mean, it might work out, might not. Who knows? The bad thing is, I'm looking at that 10-second. This is not uh, looking too swift, to be honest. But it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Um, so, uh, you know, that value area, I can't even see. I guess that's the value area low right there. If we go above that, I just take my profits. I don't give a crap. Uh, that value area high, this is the value area low right there. Do you see that? The value area high, value area low. So if we go above that, more than likely we're going to keep going, moving up. You see? Just take your profits, man. Move on, okay? Move on. How much would that have been if you would have taken it right up in here? That would have been roughly $100, man. Just move on. Who cares? Oh my God, it's 346. I need to stop trading. 350 algo is going to hit. I need to stop trading. Shut this off. Shut it off. Um, hey, The chart trader, it's a panel. It's a floating panel. It's not docked over to the right like most of them. It's a floating panel. You can move it around like you want. You can go ahead and collapse it. You can do it down. You can trade your accounts here. If you don't want to trade micros, uncheck that. Okay, then you trade the minis. If you want to trade the micros, trade micros. If you want to trade the nanos, put the NNQU6 there. Okay, micros. I need to change that, micros and nanos. You can do buy market, sell market, take profit, which is limit order, break even, cancel flat. Okay, it's not docked over to the right like most of them because this ain't like most platforms. Screw most platforms. I want to build my own crap. I need to shut this down because 350 is going to kick in. 347, you got about 3 minutes, man. You got about 3 minutes, man. But that right there was a good thing. Moving average starting to slope down. You had 14% more sellers than buy. You had 14% more sellers on the books on the level 2 data when this candle closed. So when you opened up right here within 250 milliseconds, the snapshot in the past 250 milliseconds was 14% more sellers. So you jump in there and then you kind of get yourself about a couple $100, man. Hey, easy day, ain't it? Ah, this is how the indicator is going to work. Yeah, this right here is a buy and bounce. This is not that. Maybe I need to differentiate maybe a little bit. Obviously, you're going to be able to change the colors of this, okay? That's just the way it is. You're going to be able to change the colors. But it is what it is. But that's how I am going to be using this. You've got a value area high and low, value area high and low. You've got 14% more sellers. You close. Maybe you can wait for a pullback to the value area up in here, or you can get in right here, or you can scale in and start taking profits around here at about 250, you know? That's just the way it is. We've got you got about 50 seconds before the 350 algo kicks in. That's when all the institutions start shuffling the money around. But this is how the indicator is working, folks. There's more work that needs to be done to it, but this is something I've wanted to get done for a while. I've been sitting down thinking sometimes when I'm not at the computer about how I can do an order book pressure. Oh, look, order book pressure. We're sloping up to the upside. You got 11% more buyers in this 10-second chart. We closed positive. The value area is right here. The value area is right here. So it's obviously it's moving up. So what do? Well, you get in here and you take your profits for about $1.75. Okay, before the 350 algo because you just got smoked. Okay, but you get the idea. You get the idea. You got the idea. Okay, you got the idea. Moving average is sloping upwards. 11% more buyers at the close of this candle. So 250 millisecond snapshot of the level 2 data, and you had 11% more buyers. You get that shaded area. You go in. You roughly get yourself about a buck 50, man. Why did you get in? Well, for one, the moving average was sloping upwards. Second of all, this was the trigger candle right here. The value area high and low is here. So value area high and low for the previous. So guess what it's doing? It's moving up along with the moving average. You're putting the odds in your favor. That's all you're doing. You're just putting the odds in your favor. And you just favored like a buck 50. Okay. Buck 72, but buck 50, you ain't going to get the tops and the bottoms. But hopefully this is how it can be done. Now, can this be done on a 1 minute chart? I don't know. It might be able to. It might be able to. I have no idea. I am going to use it for like a 3240 range bar, to be quite honest, because that's what I mainly do. But yeah, you saw how the order book pressure, we actually took a couple trades off of it. I don't think we took any uh, big losses. So I'm up 328 bucks. Okay, no big deal. No big deal. I would have been up 500 if I was trading the minis towards the end. But I wanted to test this out, and I'm thinking I've got a pretty decent strategy that I think is going to work. It's not a stacked and balance strategy like I have, about the buy and bounce. But right here, this is the trigger candle of 14% more sellers. We got the value area high and low. We got the previous value area high and low. So it's moving down. Okay. Plus the moving average needs to be sloping downwards or flat. But obviously, if it's sloping downwards, momentum's down. And then you can get in here and possibly try to cover right there and be like, you know what, I'm not getting a dump, so I'm just going to go ahead and take my profits and be happy with like $150, $160. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You're not always going to get home runs. But yeah, this is the indicator. The platform will be released Monday on beta. So this needs to close. The moving average is somewhat kind of running up. Not really. You have a value area here, the value area high, value area low. You got the value areas being formed right here. Yeah, that's not good. But also look at this. On the level 2 books, these 32 range bars, the past 5 has been negative selling, negative selling, negative selling, negative selling, negative selling. So the pressure on the level 2 has been negative. That's not good. That's probably why we're wicking out. This is just something that you'll be able to kind of use the level 2. You're going to need level 2 data. Okay. I think it's like 10, 15 bucks a month. You're going to need level 2 data for this. This one is not all that good. Yes, the moving average is sloping downwards. Here's the trigger candle right here. You had the value area right here. And yeah, we closed below and have a nice little shaded area right there. But look at this value area right here. We were basically in the middle. This value area needs to be down here. Okay, you're looking for momentum down. Now, did it work out? Yes, but obviously it's 350. So, I mean, who really cares? This is not all that good to be trading at night at towards the end. Um. But that is the level 2. Make sure you go to epcharts.com and sign up for the beta. It will be released next week. The platform's ready. Okay, I am going to release it in beta. The platform's ready. Okay, uh, it only uses Rhythmic, so obviously you have to have Rhythmic data feed, and it's not going to work with live brokerage accounts yet because I want it to be tested thoroughly on these prop firms, on these evals first, on the prop firms, okay, before you do all that. And you're going to have RTrader Pro open just in case something happens. At least you'll be able to manage your orders. What happens if the platform crashes? What if it loses data connection? It's beta. Things are going to happen. What if they do? Well, you need to have RTrader Pro open and running. so you can manage your trade. Um, I haven't had any issues for the past 4 days, so hopefully you won't have any issues. Look at this. We've got 17% more buyers on the books when that 10-second candle closed. Okay, you have this area right here, value area high low, value area high low. Okay, it's sloping upwards. It's above that moving average. This right here, this trigger bar. You know, not all that great. I mean, it's towards the end. It's 357. You don't want to be doing anything. Uh, But you look at the 5 minute here, and you probably don't want to be trading. You know, it's just not that good. You got to look at the context of the higher time frames. Maybe if you are down here in this area right here, and you get a setup like this, then yes, you want to go for it. So that is what that is. So order book pressure, this is what it is. Order book pressure settings. Measures resting level 2 bid versus ask liquidity to identify the path of least resistance. That's what I'm trying to do, is identify the path of least resistance. So, because basically what it's doing is, can I get a, no, I can't do that. Can I do this? No, I can't draw while that's open. All right, so you get you see how it says levels above, levels below, 12 ticks. Okay, that's 12 ticks, and it's summing up the data. So what this basically doing is, let's say you're at 320 right here. This is the current price. Let's just hypothetically say this is the current price right here at 320. Well, it's doing 12 ticks, getting 12 ticks above here to get the sellers and 12 ticks below to get the buyers, and it's summing up the data. Okay, and let's say it's 20% more buyers. Okay, that means there's 20% more buyers here that are looking to lift it up. Okay, so if you're currently trading here, then the path of least resistance, because there's more buyers than there are sellers right there. So that's the path of least resistance, is pointing upwards. I hope this makes sense. I've been trading for 10 years, so sometimes, I mean, it just comes natural to me. But hopefully this makes sense. All right, it's 4 o'clock. I got to get going, man. I got to figure out how I can keep this data right there, because this kind of goes away when you start screwing around with the chart. You see what I'm talking about right there? It kind of screws around with it. Yeah. Well, I got to make sure it don't do that. So there's obviously some things that need to be fixed, but the indicator's working. That's step 1. The next step is to make it better. So it's time for me to make it better until dinner time. Then the wife calls me to the table. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, 9:15. We'll be doing more of this order book pressure. We'll be trading probably a 40 range bar. I'll be trading a 40 range bar, looking at a 1 minute and maybe a 5-15 minute. I don't know, but I'll see you tomorrow at 9:15. Make sure you sign up for the beta, epcharts.com. Sign up for the beta. Later.